Are your Logic Pro drums sounding a little bit too Logic? I hear a lot of demos that use Logic Pro Drummer, and it is a really good tool, but I can really hear when someone's just kind of not really gone to the next level and elevated how they're using it. I feel like if you've got Logic Pro, it's really worth learning to use it properly because it is really great. You can get some really great results. And getting drums right is really important. This video is going to show you a few things that can help elevate your drum production. It's probably about 4 or 5 minutes long. It'll be worth watching because you'll find out some really cool tricks, some of the things that maybe you wouldn't know about already. You can get inside Logic Pro using this particular technique and get much more control. Get that control, you need to unlock this particular feature that maybe you didn't know about. So I've just loaded up the drummer. I've chosen East Bay, and it's indie rock kind of drums. You know, I make a lot of kind of indie rock kind of music, and so do my clients. So it's a good starting point. But what you get here is you just get the drummer on one channel, and then you get the controls down here. Like indie folk, indie pop music is more gentle. The drummers in those kind of genres aren't really playing super hard, you know, they're playing quite gentle, and then they're using processing, compression and EQ to make the drums sound big and right for the music. So the first things first, let's dial down the intensity here. And obviously complexity is down to your taste, but again, lots of kind of more indie pop song-based music doesn't have loads of drum fills, isn't really complex. I'm going to turn down the amount of fills quite low. I like drum fills, but I personally like simple, not that often drum fills. So, you know, there's the pattern. So this is the actual tip that a lot of people don't really realize is a thing you can do in Logic, which is multi-channel kits. So right now you've just got one stereo file, all the drums are on one channel. You can't change the mix that much really. So how should you change the mix? Well, like a proper real drum session, you go into multi-channel kits. So right now we've got East Bay selected. We go to multi-channel kits down the bottom and we select East Bay Plus. And that just completely changes the kit here to a multi-channel kit. And you get a little arrow and you can open that, and now you've got the overheads, the kick, the snare, all the different channels. If you look at our mixer and I hit play, you can now see, and at the end you've got sub, attack, you've got a gated reverb, you've got some crunch and pump, and you can then really start to tailor the sound. So if you're still new to this, I recommend just like soloing each thing. So that's the crunch, which is actually just, it's a distortion plugin. Attack is an envelope controller, which is just adding a little bit more punch. You've got sub, which is adding a sub frequency, making the bass louder. One thing is the room reverb. Now, you can hear that. If you want a drier sound, turn the room down. And the drums are already starting to sound a little bit better. The kick is quite powerful here. Kick in and out. So the kick in, you get the click. That's the inside mic of the kick, and you get a bit more of a click attack sound. So if you want to soften the kick drum, make it less punchy, you can just dial that down. And the warmth of the kick, the big bassy sound comes from kick out. So then you've got control there. With the snare, that's the top, and then the bottom mic. The bottom is where the snare actually is, so you get a bit more of a bright, crispy sound. So again, you can totally control that. And what I do often is I'll get a compressor like 1176 and I'll put that on the snare drum. And now the other thing you can do is you can also click on the drum kit, click on the snare, and then you've got actual sounds. Like, want to dampen the snare? I love dampened snares. And then you can tune, get a bit more body in the sound. Straight away, after just a few little tweaks, you're getting much more kind of indie. And you still get your drum bus here processing, and you know, you've got a saturator, you can really boost that up. You can go to retro tube, you can change, you know. So yeah, hope that helps. Let me know what you think.